Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Stacy and this is Astro. Welcome back. If you are new here, we just do all dog things on this channel, including service dog training, normal dog training, our adventures. I'm so excited that you are here today spending your time here on our channel. The one thing I realized is that Astro is great with his public access skills. The one thing that we do lack in is settling in public. Obviously that is my fault because we do not practice settling in public, but now that I have more time to practice this with him, we are going to go out and practice our settling a lot more. I can't expect him to settle perfectly in public if we don't practice it first at home. When he does settle outside, he can bring in all of the dirty things. He's a very fluffy, hairy dog. So his hair tends to pick up things that are on the ground. It ends up bringing it back home. So I did buy a settle mat. It is a rough wear settle mat. The one thing I dislike is that you can't take it apart and wash it, and I don't know if it's even machine washable. I'm going to have to figure out how to keep it clean. I just wanted to introduce the settle mat, and we're going to be using his breakfast. We do have rules with the settle mat. The first rule is that he has to be laying down at all times and he cannot come off the mat until release. Slowly introduce the settle mat to him so that he understands the rules. You have to set your dog up for success, and you can't expect them to know certain things right away. It does take time and practice, so just keep that in mind. We just came back from a 2.5 mile walk. We live by an elementary school. He loves kids. If he could spend all day with kids. A lot of kids walk to school in the morning. This morning, all the kids are like, oh my gosh, it's a doggy. Can I pet him, please? The kids want to pet him. Astro wants to greet them. It took us 45 minutes to walk 1 mile this morning because he was so happy to see all of these kids, and the kids were so happy to see him, and it just made my day because I love kids. After we came back from the walk, we played 20 minutes of tug. He had his zoomies. He was knocking things off the couch. Now he's tired and just sleeping, so this is the perfect opportunity to practice settling when he's in his calm state. Oh, such a big stretch. Oh, that is such a big stretch. That was such a big stretch. Yes! We have some ground turkey. It's the normal patty that he eats. Yes! Good job. We are slowly working on duration and understanding the rules of the settle mat. I'm also walking around to add extra distractions. Good boy, free. Good. I added different tricks to make our training session more interesting during our break from the mat. I point to the mat instead of instantly adding a verbal cue. In this point in our training, Astro does not know what the word mat means, so it's kind of pointless to use it. Good boy. Good job. Our goal is for him to truly rest with his chin down on the mat, just like he is doing here. However, right now our focus is on understanding the basics and setting him up for success. He needs to follow the 2 rules mentioned earlier in the video. Free. Good job. Center. Good job. Around. Good. Center. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. I know that this may seem repetitive, but hey, that's the reality of dog training. I don't expect Astro to learn everything instantly. It takes time, practice, and patience for a dog to truly understand their task. This is a great mental exercise for him to learn that this specific mat equals settling down. If you are going to work on settling with your dog, make sure you physically exercise your dog before expecting them to lay down for long periods of time.
Good job. Good spin. Good turn. Yes. Good. Oh. Yes. Walk around him. And I'm gonna point. Good boy.
When Astro
No.
leaves the mat without release, I will give him a verbal correction no and lure him back down
No.
onto the mat.
Astro.
Again, I'm not
Hey,
expecting
no.
Astro to understand right away, but it's
Good.
important for me to fix
Down.
it right away.
Look. Free. Good boy. Papa, you want some water? Yours. Go drink water. I will put the mat away because I want him to associate the mat with settling instead of playing around. Oh, are you gonna bring me your toy? Oh. Drop. Good. Yours. Good boy. This is a settle mat. I ordered this from Amazon and I'll put a link down below, but it's going to be affiliated just to let you know. I really like how it folds up so I can just nicely put it in my backpack. I believe I ordered the size medium. It just opens up like this. I feel like the material, it can get quite dirty. I just wish that I could wash it without ruining the design of the mat. The back is this type of material, you know. I don't know what type of material. I don't know the material type, but here it be. Here it be.
A couple of hours later, I put the mat out again for another quick training session. Being consistent and patient with our training with the mat is truly rewarding, as he knew exactly what to do.
Yes.
Now that Astro will lay on the mat when I point or when I pull it out, it's time to add our verbal cue. I decided to use the word mat. This didn't happen all in one day though. I've been working on this with Astro for a couple of days now. I will point along with the verbal cue in the beginning and eventually phase out the pointing, but honestly, having him understand the body language cue and the verbal cue for our settle mat is pretty cool.
Mat.
Here, I wait for him to lay down on his own. I don't verbally ask him to lay down. I simply wait and reward him with a large jackpot of food when he does. He's watching me act all silly and bouncing around the room to create distractions. As long as he doesn't leave his mat again, he'll be rewarded with a large jackpot of food.
Free. Mat. Yes. guys watch him for me. Let me know when he moves.
I walked away to finish my to-do chores list, which was to put away the clean dishes from the dishwasher. He got up in about 30 seconds because he knew I wasn't watching him. But this concept is fairly new to him, so I can see why he would get up without release. We definitely need to work on our duration, but hey, practice makes improvement.
Down.
During this specific part of our session, I decided to eliminate food. Rather than focusing on the food and how can I get my reward, he's focusing on the act of relaxing and settling. This was truly difficult for him because he's used to being rewarded every so often, but I knew he could do it.
Good.
I genuinely think this was the hardest part for Astro, to truly settle down. Now that he's full and fed, he needs to run out the extra energy that was just added to his body. He needed to run out his zoomies. Well, that's usually how it goes after every meal, but he did very well as he didn't leave his downstay for 5 minutes. Astro is allowed to move positions to get comfortable or to scratch himself when he's itchy, as long as he doesn't leave the mat. I'm A-okay with that. If he gets up without release, I will ask him to lay back down, then shortly after release him to truly help him understand the rules of our mat. Again, he must be laying down at all times on the mat and can't leave without his release word free.
All done. Good boy. Free. Yay! Good job. You did it.
After a hard session of training, we release his extra energy by playing tug. He loves to tug. Over the past couple of days though, I realized that Astro will play tug longer with me the more I let him win. It's important to let your dog win when you play to keep them interested and satisfied.
Are you smiling? Papas, guess what? I love that lip. I love that lip of yours. You're so stinking cute. I set it for 10 hours.
Why buy treats when you can make your own?
2 sets going on.
Here I'm just dehydrating chicken breast.
We love chicken. Chicken? The reason why I missed 1 week last week was because I went to the emergency room 2 times in a week. I believe I had food poisoning or a stomach virus was going around. I was throwing up for almost 6 hours straight. I threw up about 20 to 25 times and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go to the emergency room. John, Astro's daddo, took me to the emergency room on Monday at 2 in the morning. We were there for about 5-ish hours. They put me on a lot of fluids because I was intensely dehydrated. Just the thought of water and food made me so nauseous. So I was drinking water with a tablespoon at a time, but I was barely drinking because like every time I would drink water, I would just end up throwing it up anyways. I was not in the best state. I felt like I was dying. So I had extreme nausea for 3 to 4 days and they prescribed me this anti-nausea medication called Compazine. It's like one of the stronger anti-nausea medications because other medications was just not working for me. It was prescribed for every 8 hours and I was taking it on the dot. But the problem is I wasn't drinking any fluids, I wasn't eating. So my entire system was just Compazine. If I was balancing the Compazine with food and water, I didn't have to go to the emergency room twice. So I went to the emergency room on Monday and I went back again on Thursday because I was having a
reaction to the medication. On Thursday around 6 o'clock, I was starting to lose control of my nerves. Like my arm was being lifted up like this and I couldn't put it down. My tongue was stuck to the roof of my mouth and I had no control over my tongue. I also had no control over my neck. So my neck was stuck like this. I couldn't move my neck past this and my tongue was out of my mouth like this. I was talking like this. I just lost all control of my nerves. My legs and my arms were going numb. I honestly thought I was having a stroke. For like the first hour and a half at home, I was hyperventilating because I didn't know what was happening. John didn't know what was happening because we were looking up symptoms of hyperventilating and it said that if you hyperventilate too much, sometimes you can lose function of your body until you calm down. I was breathing into a Ziploc bag, you know, like, you know, that thing. Astro noticed that there was something wrong with me, so he automatically did deep pressure therapy for me. My heart rate was super high. He noticed that I was just not okay, so he did deep pressure therapy for about 15 minutes and I was like, no, it's just getting worse. I'm losing more control of my body. I think we need to go to the emergency room. So by the time we got to the emergency room, I had zero function over my body. I felt like a zombie because I was just like that for a good hour and a half to 2 hours and I was panicking because I thought I was having a stroke. I had no idea my reaction was related to the medication. The nurse from Monday treated me on Thursday and she was like, welcome back, it's not so great to see you, and all the staff was like, welcome back, because they remembered me from Monday night when I was just dying of throwing up. Like I could not stop throwing up. I was extremely nauseous. It was insane. I was like talking with the tongue out of my mouth. Am I having a stroke? I'm like, am I having a stroke? I brought my medication with me. As soon as I took the bottle out and they were like, yep, she's having a reaction to compazine. As soon as they put the Benadryl through the IV, I felt so much better. I felt like myself again.
Why do you do this to me?
Round
2.
You think I want to do this? How does my hair look?
Fantastic. Just like you're in the hospital.
Oh, God, I was sweating so much. Do you see my reaction, honey?
There's no way.
I can taste the Benadryl in my mouth though.
I had control of my nerves again. I had control of my tongue, of my neck, of my arm. I could feel the Benadryl like running through my bloodstream. And I was so thankful for the doctors and the nurse that treated me. And I'm also very thankful for John because I know that this was a very scary process for him. Taking your partner to the emergency room twice in a week is not so fun. He ended up sleeping on the ground the first night because we were there for so long at 2 in the morning, and he said the chair was so uncomfortable he'd rather sleep on the ground. So the staff brought him a recliner. I was just like in and out of sleep that night. I don't really remember that night. All I remember from that week was I was not okay. I was dying. I was so dehydrated to the point where I was losing feeling in my limbs. Just the thought of water and the thought of eating made me nauseous. So I called my mom crying. Like, she lives all the way in Georgia, which is like 800 miles away from Pennsylvania. But because I called her saying, "Oma, I miss you," her child is sick, she flew all the way to Pennsylvania to take care of me for a couple days, and I'm very thankful for that. So thank you, Oma. And thank you, John, for taking care of me during one of the worst sicknesses of my life. I just needed to tell you that because I hate not posting every single week. I was just sick for like 6 days, could not get off the couch. And thankfully, Astro was very patient with us. He just slept all day beside me. He was like protecting me all day beside me. I'm just so thankful for Astro. I'm so thankful for John. I'm so thankful for my mom. And I'm so thankful for you all for understanding why I couldn't post last week. Yeah, that's just a little story there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And I'm also wanting to do a Q&A with you all. If you're interested in watching another Q&A, in the comment section, Just ask your question away. Doesn't matter how many questions you ask, you can ask as many questions as you would like. And you can also ask anything. It can be anything about me, can be anything about Astro. Obviously it has to be appropriate, but I'm looking forward to your questions. Hopefully I'll have enough questions where I can get one out in November. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye!